about their dogs. Why do they do this? Why do they do that? They think their dog is crazy, but really dogs are just being dogs. We humans, we love to analyze and overthink. Dogs, they live in the moment, and they're driven by instinct. Join me as I try to figure out why dogs do those weird things we all notice but can't explain. Whether it's the way they sniff every single spot on the sidewalk or their love for stealing socks, there's no denying that dogs do some pretty bizarre things. Today, we're going to dive into the reasons behind these quirky behaviors and try to make sense of them. Okay, picture this. Your dog is just standing there minding his own business and suddenly he starts spinning in circles like he's chasing his tail. But his tail isn't even there, so what's the deal? Well, it could be a few things. Sometimes, dogs spin in circles when they're excited. You're about to take them for a walk, you're getting ready to feed them, and bam! The spinning starts. It's like they're trying to burn off all that excess energy. On the other hand, spinning can also be a sign of anxiety. If a dog is feeling stressed or overwhelmed, spinning can be a way of self-soothing. It's their way of saying, whoa, too much going on here, gotta reset. And then, of course, there's the instinctual aspect. Remember, dogs descended from wolves, and spinning in circles is a natural behavior for wolves in the wild. They do it to trample down grass and create a comfy little bed. So your dog might just be tapping into that ancient instinct. The important thing is to look at the context. Pay attention to your dog's body language. We've all been there. You're sitting at home relaxing with your dog and suddenly they jump up and start barking at nothing. You look around but there's nothing there. So, what's your dog barking at? Well, here's the thing. Dogs experience the world through their senses, and their senses are way more acute than ours. They can hear things that we can't, smell things that we can't, and even see things that we can't. So when your dog is barking at seemingly nothing, they might actually be picking up on a subtle sound, a faint scent, or even a slight movement that we're completely oblivious to. Maybe it's a tiny insect buzzing around or the sound of a car door closing down the street. Now, some people believe that dogs can even sense paranormal activity. The thing is, dogs are incredibly sensitive creatures, and there's still a lot we don't understand about their senses. So, the next time your dog starts barking at nothing, don't just dismiss it as craziness. Have you ever caught your dog digging in your bed or even their own bed? They dig and dig, turn around in a circle a few times, and then finally settle down for a nap. It's like they're trying to create the perfect sleeping arrangement. Well, this behavior actually goes back to their wild instincts. You see, dogs' ancestors, wolves, would dig dens in the ground for shelter and protection. These dens provided a safe and comfortable place to sleep, raise their pups, and escape from predators. So, when your dog digs in your bed, they're essentially trying to create a cozy little den for themselves. Now, some dogs might also dig in beds because they're trying to regulate their body temperature. And of course, some dogs just enjoy the sensation of digging. So, next time you see your dog digging in your bed, don't get too upset. Ah, the classic tail chase. It's one of those behaviors that can be both amusing and perplexing for dog owners. Why on earth would a dog chase their own tail? Well, like many dog behaviors, tail chasing can have a few different explanations. Sometimes it's simply a form of play. Dogs, especially puppies, are full of energy, and they love to explore their world. Chasing their tail can be a fun way for them to burn off some of that excess energy and entertain themselves. But tail chasing can also be a sign of boredom or frustration. If a dog isn't getting enough physical or mental stimulation, they might start chasing their tail as a way to release pent-up energy or alleviate boredom. If you're concerned about your dog's tail chasing, it's always a good idea to talk to your veterinarian or a certified dog trainer. We talked about dogs barking at seemingly nothing earlier, but it's such a common and perplexing behavior it deserves a closer look. It's frustrating, right? You hear your dog barking, you think something's wrong, but you can't figure out what's setting them off. Remember how we talked about dogs having superpowered senses? That's key here. While our human senses are limited, dogs experience the world in high definition, especially when it comes to sound and smell. Imagine walking through a forest. You might hear birds chirping and the wind rustling through the leaves, but your dog? They're picking up on a whole symphony of sounds you're missing. The scurrying of a squirrel in the underbrush, the distant hoot of an owl, even the high-pitched squeak of a bat navigating through the trees. So, when your dog starts barking at nothing, remember that they're reacting to information you're not privy to. It's not necessarily that there's something wrong, it's just that their world is so much richer and more detailed than ours. Alright, this one's for all the dog owners who have experienced the joy of their furry friend rolling around in something truly disgusting. Dead fish on the beach? Check. Goose poop in the park? You bet. The smellier the better it seems. So why do dogs do this? Why would they want to cover themselves in something that makes us gag? Well, as with most dog behaviors, it comes down to instinct. One theory is that it's all about camouflage. Remember, dogs descended from wolves, who were hunters. Rolling in strong smells, especially those from prey animals, could be a way for dogs to mask their own scent and get closer to their prey. Another theory is that it's a way for dogs to communicate with other dogs. By rolling in something pungent, they're essentially creating their own unique perfume, a way to tell other dogs, "Hey, I was here, and this is my territory." Whatever the reason, if your dog has a penchant for rolling in the stinkiest things they can find, just remember it's in their nature. You're out for a walk with your dog and suddenly, they freeze in their tracks, ears perked up, body tense, eyes fixed on something in the distance. You look, but you don't see anything out of the ordinary. What is it about that seemingly innocuous squirrel that has your dog on high alert? Dogs, with their incredible senses, are constantly picking up on subtle cues in their environment that we humans often miss. That sudden freeze, it's their way of saying, "Hold on, I'm processing something." It could be something as simple as a faint noise you didn't register, a change in the wind carrying an unfamiliar scent, or even a subtle shift in the ground beneath their paws. Dogs are wired to be aware of their surroundings, always on the lookout for potential threats or interesting new information. So the next time your dog freezes, take a moment to consider what they might be picking up on that you're not. Let's be real. A dog walk is less about exercise and more about an olfactory odyssey for our canine companions. That leisurely stroll around the block? It's a sniff-and-tell adventure for your dog, a chance to catch up on the latest news and gossip of their neighborhood. Every fire hydrant, every lamppost, every patch of grass, they're all teeming with information for a dog's sensitive nose. It's their way of reading the newspaper, catching up on social media, and getting the inside scoop on who's been where and done what. Dogs can determine the sex of another dog, their approximate age, their health status, even their emotional state, all from a quick sniff. So, the next time your dog stops to sniff every blade of grass, remember that they're tapping into a rich and complex world of information that we humans can only imagine. We've all been there, right? You reach into your sock drawer only to find that one sock is mysteriously missing. And then you spot your dog, proudly parading around with your missing sock dangling from their mouth. So, what's the deal with dogs and their obsession with socks? Why do they find these seemingly ordinary garments so irresistible? Well, for starters, socks often carry our scent, the scent that dogs associate with comfort, security, and love. So when they're feeling a little anxious or insecure, they might grab a sock to cuddle with because it smells like us and makes them feel safe. Socks also have a unique texture that dogs find appealing. The soft, pliable fabric feels good in their mouth, and the act of chewing and sucking on a sock can be soothing for them, especially when they're teething puppies. So, if you're tired of your dog stealing your socks, try giving them plenty of their own toys to chew on. Throughout this journey into the curious world of dog behavior, we've repeatedly bumped up against the same fascinating truth. Dogs experience the world in ways we can only begin to grasp. They live in a sensory landscape far richer and more nuanced than ours. Remember how we talked about their incredible sense of smell, how they can detect minute changes in air pressure, pick up on high-frequency sounds, and even sense subtle shifts in the Earth's magnetic field? These aren't just superpowers, they're everyday tools for dogs, helping them navigate their world and make sense of their surroundings. It's like they're constantly tuned into a radio station we can't hear, receiving a stream of information that's completely invisible to us. So, when they react in ways that seem strange or inexplicable, it's important to remember that they're responding to this hidden world. So, the next time your dog does something that seems a little off, take a moment to consider the world from their perspective. So, there you have it, folks, a peek into the weird and wonderful world of dog behavior. I hope you learned something new today, and maybe even gained a new appreciation for those quirky habits of your furry friend. Dogs, with their boundless energy, their goofy antics, and their unwavering loyalty, never cease to amaze us. Their behaviors, often rooted in instinct and shaped by their unique sensory experiences, can seem strange and perplexing at times, but they always offer a glimpse into their fascinating world. If you got a funny story about your dog's weird behavior or just want to share your own observations, be sure to leave a comment down below. And if you're new here, consider subscribing for more fun content about dogs and dog training. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.